Hi there, my name is Janet, and in this lesson we are going to tackle an essay from Blossoms of the Savannah. H.R. Oleculet Blossoms of the Savannah. The essay says, where there is a will, there is a way. Write an essay in support of this saying with illustrations from H.R. Oleculet Blossoms of the Savannah. Our introduction. When a person desires to achieve something, no amount of obstacle can deter him or her as long as their ambition lives on. Resian succeeds in fighting female genital mutilation, forced marriage, attempted rape, and her desire to join university because of her strong determination. Our points. Resian is determined to go back to Nakuru and join Egerton University. She is determined to take a course in veterinary science and become a veterinary doctor. We are told she wants to read everything that there is to be read and put on the graduation regalia at the end of 4 years. She therefore requests her sister to persuade their father to allow them to go back to Nakuru and join the university. Discussing polygamy, Resian reminds Tayo that she does not want to be a parent in the foreseeable future, but wants to study, emphasizing that such peripheral matters as marriage will come only after she'll have obtained a degree. She enlists for the help of her mother, who later becomes elusive. When Tayo fails to find the most opportune moment to speak to their father, we are told she decides to take the bull by thorns by facing her father at the shop to ask him about her plans of taking her to university. Olekailo tells her she has had enough formal education. Instead, he has sold her to Oloisudori. Unbowed, we are told, she tells him she'll go to the university and hopes that his father will be there to witness her graduation. Olarinkoi's abduction does not stop her either. She shares her afflictions and dreams with Nabaru. Touched by her physical and mental courage, Nabaru promises to help her do what she intends to do or go where she wants to go once she's back onto her feet, with or without Koiboni's predictions. She later procures a lorry with which she helps rescue her out of Olarinkoi's tentacles and takes her to Monique's ranch, which is a safe haven for young girls. Escaping female genital mutilation and early marriage. Monique later calls her with her sister and shows them two envelopes containing their letters of admission at the university, where they are to report on 5th of September. On the very day, they board Monique's vehicle and travel to the university. They cannot believe that their long-cherished ambition and adoration had at long last become a reality. Resian says prayerfully that all is well that ends well. Our second point. Resian wins against the attempted sexual assault by Olarinkoi. After being abducted by Olarinkoi, Resian is consoled by a dream in which she meets the Emakererei, who promises her all kinds of wonderful things. Her sweet dream is, however, interrupted rudely and violently by Olarinkoi. Drunk, he walks to the terrified Resian, gets hold of her shoulders and shakes her violently, glaring at her with his glittering eye. He tells her that she is his wife and he will find out how educated her body is. He gets hold of her, drags her into the other room and begins unfastening her buttons with his rough, trembling hands. Panicking and terrified, Resian tries to get away from him, but we are told he holds her effortlessly as he brutally continues to fumble with her dress, trying to loosen it. Resian screams as loud as she can, in vain, as her abductor holds her more firmly with his strong arms and against her loud protest. We are told he tears her garments and begins to push her towards the bed. Resian does not give in. However, she desperately takes her last chance of self-defense and self-preservation. She musters all her strength, thrusts his thumb onto her mouth, sinks her teeth into the flesh like a ferocious animal, and tenaciously holds onto it, tugging at it fiercely like a lioness, and tears it. She clings onto the thumb as Olarinkoi howls in pain, tries to push away, but she holds on, digging deeper into the flesh, nearly severing the limb. As Olarinkoi cries loudly, Olarinkoi struggles to escape the wrath of Resian's teeth. He knocks and manages to escape. Although she faints, she manages to prevent Olarinkoi from defiling her. Later, feeling embarrassed, Olarinkoi apologizes and assures her that he will not repeat what he tried to do. And for our last point, Resian successfully fights forced marriage. Oloisidori, who is hugely old by Olekailo, gets attracted to Resian upon seeing her when he visits Kailo's home. He takes advantage of Olekailo's assurance that he cannot be denied anything in his home by telling his host that he is interested in his daughter Resian. Gradually, Olekailo consents. Later, he arrives and pays dowry for Resian. The briefcase of 500,000 shillings plus other princely gifts like a pretty golden brooch and 12 lengths of different kinds of material, a golden pendant, a golden bracelet, and a cutely designed golden ring for Resian to seal the marriage. Determined to ward off any possible marriage plans, Resian swears to show Oloizodori that she was a chattel to be secured by consent of a briefcase. With her sister, she intends to show him that they were not on sale and that they are not equal to the price of the briefcase. They are determined to show him that they were young women who had their own pride, who had their own self-respect and self-esteem, and not rudderless objects drifting in the sea without direction. Determinedly, Resian asserts that she'll try to face him briefly and tell him what she thinks of him. They plan to repackage the gifts and return them to the monster Oloisudori. Oloisudori invites the Kaelos to his palatial home in Nakuru Milimani area to show them the magnificent house he had been building for Resian. He had been beautifying it in order to make Resian fall in love with, with him upon seeing it, so much that on seeing it, Olekailo is attracted so much to the world that he decides that he was going to allow his daughter's ignorance to destroy her future. He declares that as a father, he had a God-given duty to guide her to a secure future, to lead her to the honeypot that would be part of her future. A plan to ensnare Resian is hatched. Kyla would prepare ground for Oloisudori's coming to persuade Resian into marriage. If she refused, his men would arrive in the evening, pounce on and abduct Resian and drive her to her house in Nakuru. When she refuses, the three Oloisudori, Kylo and Mama Milanoi convene and agree on abducting Resian and forcefully marrying her. In his third visit, Oloisudori reveals to Resian that she is his wife and that their fate is sealed and that only death shall part them. Resian screams at him, telling him that he is mad, stark mad to think that she is his wife. She adds that she can only be his wife over her dead body and that he and her father can kill her and take her body to Oloisudori's palatial home. Excruciatingly pained by Oloisudori's remarks, Resian storms out of the house and heads to the shop to confirm these plans from her father. He confirms her fears by telling her that Oloisudori has asked to marry her. She interrupts her father by shouting and screaming. She tells him to be to better kill her than hand her over to Oloisidori. Even the revelation by her father that he has already taken dowry from Oloisidori and that she is his wife, whether he likes it or not, does not deter Resian. We are told she walks out of her father and rushes to Nasila River as she contemplates committing suicide. She is prepared to die rather than marry Oloisudori. Luckily, Olarinkoi appears and saves her. She later reveals to Nabaru her dreams of meeting Minik. However, Olarinkoi is determined to fulfill her mother's prophecy of marrying Resian and living with her in Tanzania. Olarinkoi's abduction does not stop her either. She shares her afflictions and dreams with Nabaru. Touched by Resian's physical and mental courage, Nabaru promises to help her do what she intends to do or go where she wants to go once she's back onto her feet, with or without an Koiboni's predictions. She later procures a lorry with which she helps rescue out of Larinkoi's tentacles to Minik's ranch, where she finds a safe haven for young girls escaping female genital mutilation and early marriages. Also, Resian manages to fight female genital mutilation. We are told her mother tells her that female genital mutilation is everyone's lip in Nasila. It is so entrenched that Resian and her sister experiences so much contempt from the vagabond who accosts them. For Ole Superior and his ilk, circumcision was an important practice which tamed an otherwise wild gender. He says that a certain measure of docility was necessary to keep more than of lots of poisons. He and Olemusanga castigate Minik, who protects girls from these practices. It is therefore difficult for Resian to escape, especially when her father, after cultural reception, declares that after his wife prepares his daughters to appreciate and accept their future responsibilities as mothers and home builders, and after Joseph Pamwat teaches them a few home truths, they will call they will call they will they will call the as it is written on the set text. Resian manages to fight female genital mutilation. Her mother tells her that female genital mutilation is in everyone's lip in Nasila. It is so entrenched that Resian and her sister experience so much contempt from the vagabond who accosts them. For Ole Superior, his ilk circumcision was an important practice which tamed an otherwise wild gender. We are repeating this. He says that a certain measure of docility was necessary to keep more than of lots of poisons. He and Olemusanga castigate Minik, who protects girls from these practices. It is therefore difficult for Resian to escape, especially when her father, after the cultural reception, declares that after his wife prepares his daughters to appreciate and accept their future responsibilities as mothers and home builders, and after Joseph Pamwat teaches them a few home truths, they will call the Enkaratani. We now get back to where we left, and Karatani to play her part before we give them away, aware that men are the creators of the labyrinth, and the women continue to meander around as it is written on page 91. She promises to escape going through this barbaric practice. Resian declares that Enkaratani's withered claw-like hands would only touch her over her dead body. We can find this on page 58. We are told she declares that over her dead body will she be circumcised. She says she would rather live in a noisy place than live anywhere near a vagabond who would accost her with the intention of mutilating her sexuality. Resian and Tayo vow to join Monique in fighting against female genital mutilation. To escape, she constantly reminds her sister to persuade their father to allow them travel back to Nakuru. However, this does not go through. Even so, her determination sees her escape from home through the help of Olarinkoi. When she later learns about the mono-eyed woman and her son's determination to clip that erogenous salacity from you, the distressed homes in order to become a respectable, worthy woman, Resian's determination to live through the challenge inspires Nabaru to support her escape. As it is quoted, I am willing to help you do what you intend to do or go where you want to go once you are back on your feet. This is on page 233. She finally manages to escape from Olarinkoi, and we are told she meets her mentor Monique, the anti-crusader of female genital mutilation. And in conclusion, Resian and Monique succeed to achieve their goals due to their unwavering determination. Thank you so much for watching this long essay, and I hope this will help you improve on your literature. Kindly subscribe, please share.